This time I'm going to be trying to get rid of some muddiness. So first of all, the question is what is muddiness? I mean, in most tracks it's in the sort of low mid-range area. It's because it's in that area where maybe it's the upper range of your kicks and the upper of your bass line and the lower range of your lead lines or your vocals, and they all kind of overlap. And the area I'm talking about is about 300 hertz ish. It's that kind of area where everything kind of just overlaps a bit and tends to sort of be just muddy, basically. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to jump onto the master channel and I'm going to chuck in a spectrum analyzer, and I'm going to hit play on that just to take a look. Give me something. Right, you can see here is the 100 hertz, and this is logarithmic, so that must be 200 hertz, so that must be 300. So we're looking around this sort of area and just seeing where everything is. Give me something. Give me something to believe in. It's kind of tricky to see, but there is definitely something around here that we could probably start removing. It's particularly difficult to kind of hear what it is we're wanting to hear. However, in Ableton specifically, I've noticed that on their EQ8, which I can drop in before the spectrum analyzer, you've got a headphones button here, so you can actually preview what's in a certain area as you hold the dot down. So I'm just going to do that, and I'm going to hit play and then play around with it. Give me something, give me something to believe in. There we go. So by holding down this and dropping it over the 300 hertz area, I've increased the Q, so it's a bit narrower than normal. But by doing that, give me something, give me something to believe in. Yeah, so by doing that, by basically soloing that sort of frequency range, you're now able to work out what's in that frequency range, and you can hear when it's soloing. You can hear there's some kicks in there, you can hear some very low end of the hi-hats in there, there's definitely vocals in there, there's that arpeggiator sort of synth sound in there as well. So there's a whole host of things that we can start attacking. I'm not going to do it in the master channel, because if I'm separating stems or exporting stems at a later date, I tend not to touch anything in the master channel, so I'm just going to leave that as is and turn it off for now. It's kind of not necessary, but I'm definitely going to go straight to the vocal actually, and I'm going to drop in an EQ8 there, and I'm going to solo the vocal, and let's have a listen. Give me something, give me something. So there's definitely a huge amount, you can see it in there, around the sort of 200-300 hertz area. Give me something, give me something to believe in. So I'm going to chuck this before any other effect, because I don't need it to be after any other effect. And I've given it a dip around 300 hertz, and I've got what, minus 3.5 dB down there. And that, with or without, let's have a check. Give me something, give me something. It's definitely cleaned it up, so that's made a huge difference. And you know what, I'm just going to copy that, because I think that's the area we're looking at. and I'm going to go straight to the arps and I'm going to drop it in there. And again, I'm going to bring it in before anything else. And we'll solo that. Yeah, and we're just taking out some of the very, very low end of that arp. There's not a huge amount in there, but that was essentially it. So normally I would suggest looking at bassline, but in this case I didn't hear any bassline when I was on the master channel listening to it. It wasn't a prominent feature. In fact, we'll prove that just by listening again. Give me something, give me. The bassline is there, but it's not anywhere near as prominent as what the vocal was or anything like that. Give me something, give me. Whereas now that we've cleaned up the vocal, it's now on par with the bassline, which is definitely a good thing. So we've really sort of cleaned up that sort of muddiness area now. And those are sort of things to focus on. It would normally be the kicks and the bass, and make sure that there's nothing around 300 Hz there. In this instance, the bass lines are quite subby anyway, so they're probably well below 300 Hz. The kicks, again, if you remember earlier on, we went for the less extended types of kicks. So again, they're not really too prominent in there. They're not overbearing in any way when you're soloing that 300 Hz area. The arpeggiators definitely had quite a lot going on down there, and the vocals have a hell of a lot going on down there, so that's probably made the biggest difference. So now hopefully when I play it, it's just a bit cleaner. It won't be drastically different, but considerably better. Give me something, give me something to believe in.
Thanks everybody for watching, commenting and indeed liking. We really do appreciate all the support we get here on our Sonic Academy YouTube channel. So if you found this video super useful, please, we'd love you to hit the subscribe button. We update the YouTube channel every week with new content, and if you want to watch some more relevant content, just click on the videos beside me.